think I'm live. Hello, everyone. This is day 3 of a growth mindset being unapologetically you. This is our last day of our mini series, and I am so glad that we are together again. So, let me just start off by, in case you haven't caught the first 2 days, my name is Imogene Nelson. I am the CEO of emergingprosper.com. So with that out of the way, I'm going to do a recap really quickly on day 1 and day 2 of our mini series. So day 1, we talked about, we just talked about the growth mindset. Hey, Pat. We just talked about our growth mindset. And so what we're going to just do, what we're going to do is day 1, we talked about embracing our challenges and being willing to just fail and learn. That's what really the bottom line is. A growth mindset is just basically saying, I am willing to grow, I'm willing to fail, and I'm willing to learn. Hey, Dee Dee, I'm so glad both you're here. And so we're going to do this together. So, hey, guys, get a pencil and paper if you don't have one, or I'm going to have you write some things in the chat. So, but anyway, we understand that the fight starts in our mind. Hands down, a fight starts in our mind, not outside of ourselves, but in our mind. We talked about recognizing how our past affects our future, how our past affect how we even view our own selves. You know, that's why a lot of people, we have trouble with, people saying different things about us. We're so easy to take on other people's negativity because we're not really for sure who we are. We're looking at ourselves from how we were when we were a little girl, or in the moment of some major trauma that has happened. So we had to just understand that we have the power to recreate our lives whenever and however we need to do it, because we cannot never say it's too late. You know, we cannot do that because God has set a specific point in time for us to do what He calls us to do. He's all present. And so, Pat, you said no pencil. Hey, that's okay. I'm gonna have you write some things in the chat. And so, so anyway, but yeah, but we have to understand that we have the power to recreate our lives. For starting today is a day that you can say, starting right now, I am moving forward in where God has created me to be, who God has created me to be, because a lot of times we are living in someone else's shadow. We're living in someone else's the way they are, who they told us we should be, or what they said how we should be, or we're living under the way of some social media, some Facebook post or something like that. We're not allowing ourselves to be who we are, just wholehearted, who God created us to be. And then on day two, we talked about being intentional. And I'm just going to go over day 2 a little bit more because honestly, I was a little distracted by all that beautiful water that I was in. And so, but we did talk about being intentional about moving ahead and with purpose. You can go on autopilot all you want. It's not going to get you nowhere but have you run super fast on a hamster wheel. You know what? I'm going to get me a shirt that just has this hamster going around as this constant reminder that if you're not being intentional, that means you're on autopilot. And the autopilot is going to take you in the same circumstances and take you down the same road that you've been doing day in and day out. And so moving with intention is just moving with purpose. It is moving with purpose. And so it's getting up each day. Each day you're getting up leading. You're leading yourself. Each day you're getting up, getting your pencil and paper, saying, okay, what am I going to do today that needs to be done? What am I going to do today that needs to be done that's going to get me to where I'm going? But first you got to know where you're going. It's like, just think of it being like a GPS. So you can't get in your car and just say, I'm going to go somewhere. If you don't know what that where is, you have to designate a where to put it inside the GPS so that you can go to where you're going, right? So you got to be intentional and knowing where do you want to go. Hey Karen, it's so good to have you here. And so but you have to truly understand where you're going in life, and then you make those intentions. How do I get there? And it means you need to own the good, the bad, and the ugly of yourself. You have to own all of it. I have to own all of me. I don't do everything right. I make mistakes. I fail at some things. But you know what? Damn it, I am trying, and I get up. I get up and I keep moving forward. So no, I'm not going to get it right. No, my situation don't look like Leave It to Beaver on the show. No, it doesn't look like any of that. But it says I am keeping moving forward with intentions and owning who I am, owning everything that I am, and that means being honest with myself. That is really meaning being honest with me. If there's some things I know I need to change, I can't look at someone else and say, well, you know what, if it's because of them I would do this, or if they did this I would do this. No, that is not owning who you are. That is saying that someone has complete and total power over you. Take your power back. Take your power back and walk in who God has called you to be. I implore you today. That is where your true happiness and where true peace lies. And so, as yesterday we were talking about the value system, and I kind of want to dig a little bit deeper in there because I don't think I did it justice yesterday. I don't think I did it justice. So I want to talk about it's about understanding the importance of your values. And these is one of the lessons in life that I got late in life, but I got it. So I'm not even going to beat myself up. I got it, but I got it late. And I believe, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it's understanding who you are, understanding your values. It means that, just say, if you're going through life, there is going to be people. There's going to be those naysayers who are going to come against you, that you're going to say you have a dream about something. They're going to tell you, well, maybe, are you sure about that? We are in a pandemic, or, what is the church going to say? Or what is my cousin going to say? We will have these people in our lives that's going to come against us. And if we are not careful, what happens if you're not careful and solid on your value system, what's going to happen? You're going to follow their value system. This is the reason and how we end up on the hamster wheel, because we're not following our own value system. We're following someone else's value system. And hey, Kimberly and Monique, but we're on that. And so, because this is the question we ask. Have you ever asked yourself this? How did I get here? How did I get here? Oh, I can't even begin to tell you how much I have said that to myself over and over. And to be sitting there, I'm for real pondering that thought. How did I get here? Because I'm not understanding what all took place, how I was not standing on my value system, that I was actually living through someone else's value system for me. Now, I want you to hear what I said. On someone else's value system for me, not God's system value for me, but in my own, it's just someone else's. So, sidebar note, who are you really worshiping and following? That's just a sidebar note. I'm going to keep going on that one. But you got to understand who you are following, and understanding how do I get there. But you got to get there on your own set of value system. And getting there, when you lean into your own value system, you are leaning into being unapologetically you. It's just saying, and I own it. I own this puppy. No matter what happens, I'm going to own it. And that's how you have to get to that place where I always say, I stick my toes in the ground and this is me. And this is when the space you're going to just completely own it, because not everyone is going to make you happy. I'm just going to tell you that. Not everyone is going to be happy about your progress. As you begin to step into this space and getting and owning your values, not everyone is going to be pleased with that. Because for one, quiet as a dog been kept, there are some people in life that needs to see you at a lower level so they can feel good about themselves. That is where we're at in life. People they need to see that you're here in order for them to feel here. So when you begin to rise, it's like, who do you think you are? Oh, you think you all that now, or you know what? That's when your value system really kicks in, because that's when you say, yes, I am. And that's standing in that space of being just unapologetically you. And you know what? Let me just kind of give a brief definition of value, because I haven't done that. And values is, it's like a standard of behavior. It's one's judgment of what's important in life. One's judgment of what's important to them in life. Living in your value system will make you take action. Owning your values will make you take action. You must be clear about your values. Your values must line up with how you think. Your value must line up with the words you say. Your value must line up with your behavior. All these things must line up. So just say, how can I put this? When owning your values, it also means, because it's action with it, it's setting boundaries. No one really likes to set boundaries. We talk a good talk about setting boundaries, but do we really set these boundaries based on our value systems, or are we setting boundaries based on fear? You have to ask yourself that. That's why value systems are so important. So just say, I know one of my value systems is respect. And because I understood that I understood and I knew my value system was respect. Well, I take that back. I didn't know my value system was respect, but I know inside I wanted respect, but I didn't really own it. And so therefore I got into relationships where men were very disrespectful to me. And I just kept going, I'm just going to be so nice. And I just want to make sure, well, what can I do differently? And I'm being disrespected, but I'm trying to figure out how to make things better. I was not owning that space. So therefore, I had to get to a place to say, well, that is my value system one of my value systems is respect. So therefore, I have to set the boundaries and say, you know what, in order for us to continue this relationship or not, being willing or not, I have to be able to speak and say what my opinion is, because I am valuable to be heard. I should be heard as well. I don't deserve to be called out of my name. I don't deserve to be talked down to, because I respect me and I want you to respect me. Period. No more conversation after that. Period. That's it. Because we have to own. If you don't own it, no one else will. You can't make no one like you into owning it. You can't trick people into owning it. You have to own it first. And let me tell you something. This is something it's an old saying that that I've heard. It's like, I don't know who said this, but anyway, I heard this. It's saying, what's in you comes out of you. So if you don't own it, you don't own your values, it's going to show. It's going to show. Your life is going to show it. People are going to see it, and they're going to they'll take advantage of it. So you have to set that definite boundaries in your life based on your value system. So this is where I want you to connect here. So I want you to write down for you. whenever you get in the house or wherever, since Pat is enjoying the sun outside, whenever you get in the house, I believe I said this yesterday, but I'm going to say it again. Write down your top 10 values. And what I want to do is give you some examples. These are examples. There is just hundreds and hundreds of values. You know what your value is, but just kind of an example. I kind of wrote out some that, just different ones. Like some people may value accountability, achievement, adaptability, adventure, authenticity, balance, career, compassion, courage, family, faith, future generations, freedom, fun, hope. What else I have here? Honesty, unity, job security, respect, reliability, understanding. Again, there's a slew of other value systems but you have to designate what that is. Because someone put in the chat, give me one value system that you have, one value that you hold in life. Not system, I'm sorry. What value you hold in life? Someone put in the chat and tell me, what is a value that you hold? Don't be shy. Come on. A value that you hold. What is something that you hold in life? Like I told you yesterday, family is one of my top 3. Faith is one of my top 3. And I set boundaries based on them. And I lead based on them. My decisions are based on them. I move forward in life. And if you come against that, then I will have to let you know you crossed a boundary. All right, Pat, great. Trust, right. So everything that you're moving forward, that is something that you want to make sure that no one, that you can trust them. And when you can't, that's when you set that boundary, and you have to have that difficult conversation and let them know. Right, respecting myself and others, definitely. And that is that's part of my top 10 as well. Setting those boundaries and moving forward with that. You deserve respect. Respect is yours. And that's who you are unapologetically. So that's what the world must give for you, because you have to set those boundaries with that. So as we move forward in understanding that we have our values, we're facing our challenges, we are moving forward. But then we have to also think about, as we're setting our boundaries, to be in a space of setting those boundaries and owning who we are unapologetically. We have to not be into this victim mindset. And when I say that, it's that woe is me. Woe is me, because this and this happened, I can't. Because I grew up in an environment where there was just poverty, there was prostitution and drugs. There is no way I can go to college. Because we always have a because of why we can't do this, because of something. It's like, woe is me. I'm the victim here. You know what? That type of mentality will keep you bound to the past, because all the excuses are attached to the past. I remember this professor. Oh my word. I think I've shared the story before, but I got to share it really quick here. When I was in college and I was there, I was normally like the only African American in my business courses. But it was this professor, and he was a finance professor, and he was African American, and he had called me into his office. He's seen this greatness in me that I hadn't yet seen in myself. And so we were having this conversation, and then I started saying, well, basically just like this. Well, you know what, we grew up poor. I said, I don't know anything about business. And, my mom was this way. He interrupted me. And this is what he said. So, you're super saint, you may need to cover your ears, because I'm going to keep it 100. This is what he said to me. He said, nobody gives a fuck about what happened in the past. People care about how you're going to show up forward. And I was like this. Can you imagine this? Just college. So I was like, oh, dang. And honestly, my initial thought was, I dare him. He is so mean. And, my eyes welled up with tears. And it was like, I felt so, I was like, what do you mean you're not buying my sob story? I'm being really serious. But you know what? And why I remember that story today after so many years is that because it changed my life. It really realized, it made me start looking like, you know what, Imogene, that's your past. You're going to have to push this thing forward. You're going to have to detach yourself and move forward in life, right? And so it is, I had to detach myself. I had to realize that I am a victor. I am victorious. God has promised that to us. We are victorious, but we have to move in that way of being victorious, not just saying what someone else told us or whatever. We have to believe that by going through these processes we've been talking about these last 3 days, it's going to get you in that space of just living in a way of victorious, moving forward in life, not attached to what happened in the past, what's going on there, moving forward. Those are lessons to be learned. Take the lessons, take the good lessons that was learned from that and move forward from that. So it's about, you are victorious. You don't have to be attached to your past because you have your God-given gifts, abilities, and talents that he has given you to touch the many lives that he has destined for you to touch. There are people out there waiting for you to just get it right and be unapologetically you, not being nobody else, being unapologetically you. They need you, but you gotta be willing to get a growth mindset, not being fixed mindset saying this is the way it is and this is the way it's going to be. No, a growth mindset said, okay, I know there's going to be a challenge, but I can overcome it. I'm going to use whatever I do, wherever I fail at, I'm going to learn what I need to learn and move forward. And so this is kind of why I love my business coach, and I love coaching other individuals and doing trainings, because it is not about helping you stay connected to the negative, not helping you stay connected to your past. It's about you moving forward in life. It's about you being unapologetically you, because that is going to be the space where God can best use you, where he wants you, because he created you to be in that space. That's what he created you to do. So I'm going to say to you is that own all of you. The good, the bad, and the ugly, because we need all those parts for you to get to where you're going. So this is your time with Imogene, and I say I love you guys, and I'm so glad you have joined in with me. If you are joining this on a replay and you please put replay in the chat. Please like and share this video. Maybe someone else's life can be touched with a direction by owning their value system. And visit emergeandprosper.com. There are some products there where it is I have a personal development plan on there for, I think it's only like $20 bucks, which is nothing, that you can go on there, and then we will have actually a complimentary coaching plan to go along with it, for me and you, just to sit and help you get through this process, for me and you to sit down and say, okay, how do we start this up? And then there's also for youth on there, because I have a youth leadership training academy. There is my next cohort 2 is coming up, where all these principles I teach to them when they're young, so that they don't have to, I look at myself, so they don't have to get it so late. They get it when they're younger. And I tell you, we have millionaires, we have entrepreneurs, we have incredible activists that are coming up, but we need to train them young. So until next time, this is Imogene Nelson with emergeandprosper.com. Talk to you soon. All right, bye.